Okay, ABBA. You know the songs, right? You definitely know the sound. It's just this shimmering, perfect, almost ridiculously catchy pop music. But here's the thing. Behind those melodies that seem so simple, there's a level of technical wizardry and, frankly, studio obsession that was years, decades ahead of its time. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain on Polar Studios and figure out what made that sound so iconic and why it's still so timeless.
And that really is the central mystery here. Think about it. We live in an age with infinite digital tools where you can create pretty much any sound imaginable. And yet, the specific magic of ABBA sound, it's still kind of an unsolvable puzzle. The answer isn't just one simple trick. It's this wild combination of revolutionary techniques, futuristic technology, and an almost fanatical dedication to getting it perfect. So, here's what we're going to break down. We've got 5 key secrets behind their sound. We're going to look at the architecture of their recordings, the absolute magic behind their vocals, the groundbreaking tech they were using, all the little hidden details you can barely even hear, and then the one ingredient that nobody can replicate.
Let's start with the foundation, the bedrock, because long before Agnetha and Frida even stepped to the mic, ABBA was building this sonic fortress. They basically took a concept from American producers and just pushed it to its absolute logical extreme.
The architect behind all of this was their engineer, Michael B. Tretow. You could think of him as ABBA's George Martin. He was that important. And he wasn't happy with just a few layers of sound. No, he wanted to build something enormous, a truly symphonic sound for pop music. And the way he did it was incredibly painstaking.
See, they didn't just copy and paste tracks like we would today in a computer. No. They would have a musician play the exact same part over and over and over again. Sometimes up to 15 times for just one single instrument. And each one of those takes had these tiny human variations in the timing and the feel, which, when you layered them all together, created this texture that was just incredibly thick, rich, and so alive.
It really was this relentless hunt for a sound that only existed in their heads. This obsessive approach built that dense, powerful bedrock for every single one of their hits. It was disciplined, it was meticulous, and it was absolutely essential to everything that came next.
So with that foundation in place, let's talk about what they built on top of it, those iconic vocals from Agnetha and Frida. This is where the real alchemy starts.
The instrumental wall of sound was one thing, sure, but how did they get that signature vocal blend? You know, that shimmering, singular voice that sounds like way more than just two people singing together? Well, it wasn't just their natural talent. It was a really, really clever studio trick. And here it is, Verispeed. So Michael Tretow would have Agnetha and Frida sing their harmony parts, but while they were recording, he would slightly slow down or speed up the tape machine. Then when he played that tape back at normal speed, something truly magical happened to their voices.
This Verispeed technique shifted the pitch of their voices just enough to make them sound higher, richer, almost otherworldly. It completely blurred the lines between their two distinct voices, fusing them into what sounds like one unified super voice. It's actually why it's often so hard to tell who's singing which part, because technically, on the records, they didn't sound like their normal selves.
So, okay, they had the techniques down, but you need the right tools to pull this stuff off. And their custom-built Polar Studios in Stockholm, well, it wasn't just a recording space. It was more like a laboratory. And it was equipped with technology that put them a solid decade ahead of pretty much everyone else. Just take a look at this gear. That Harrison console gave them 40 tracks to play with. That was absolutely unheard of at the time and was crucial for their wall of sound. They used early polyphonic synths like the Polymoog to create those really unique electronic sounds on albums like Arrival. And get this, by 1982, on a song like The Day Before You Came, they were already using digital sequencers for those precise, pulsing synth lines. That's a technique that would basically define the sound of the entire 80s. And the rest of the world definitely took notice. The studio and the sound they were creating there were so revolutionary that actual legends of rock and punk, we're talking Led Zeppelin, the Ramones, came all the way to Stockholm just to record at Polar. It pretty much became the Swedish Abbey Road.
All right, this next secret might just be the most fascinating one. It's not about what you hear loud and clear in an ABBA song. It's about what you don't hear, or at least what you don't realize you're hearing.
You see, ABBA and Tretow were masters of psychoacoustics. They knew that if you added layers so low in the mix that they were almost subliminal, you could create this incredible sense of depth, space, and a ton of emotional weight.
I mean, they were doing things that nobody else was even thinking of. They'd put microphones in rooms with totally different acoustics, rooms with glass, with marble, just to capture this ambient space. They'd use 3 mics on a single piano to get a wider, richer sound. And most importantly, they would record entire, complex vocal harmony arrangements and then just bury them deep in the mix. They'd even record full verses for a song and then just cut them out completely, deciding the song was stronger without them. All in service of the perfect 3-minute pop song.
Let's take a song like Knowing Me, Knowing You. It's incredible. If you use special audio filters, you can actually isolate somewhere between 8 and 10 distinct vocal layers just in the chorus alone. Most of them are mixed so low you can't consciously hear them, but you can absolutely feel them. That's what gives the song that immense sonic and emotional power.
Okay, so this brings us all the way back to our final secret, and the answer to that big question we asked at the beginning. Why, with all of our modern digital tools, can't this sound be perfectly duplicated?
Because once you've analyzed the wall of sound and the vari-speed vocals, the futuristic tech, and all those hidden layers, you're still left with one element that you just can't reverse engineer.
Because ultimately, the final secret wasn't a piece of gear or a recording trick, it was the human element. It was all those hundreds of hours they spent in the studio just trying things, just experimenting. It was Michael Tretow's artistic intuition, knowing just how far to push things. And of course, it was that unique, unrepeatable chemistry between 4 brilliant musicians. That right there is the magic you can't download, it's the code you can't write, and it's the reason we're all still listening, totally captivated all these years later.